Wholeness. Assalamu alaikum to all of my beautiful listeners, beautiful beings. Wholeness, wholeness, wholeness to you. I believe this will be the first energy reading of the season of wind energy, I believe. And if not, this is the second. Forgive me. I'm just now getting back into the swing of things. The entryway into this season of the wind, season of air, season of breath, season of prana, yama, has been a wild one at that. But I am catching my breath at this moment, in this space, in this place. I feel so happy and grateful to be able to share this reading with you. I almost didn't make it. I was in a kind of a weird funk. And you know what gets you out of a weird funk is when you become or do something of service to others. When you activate the master servant energy within yourself and you do something not in getting or gaining anything in return, but you do something from the space of your heart, from the space of love. And so right now I'm actually sitting in front of our this beautiful can't think of the word coverage right now that we have hanging on our wall, and it's a depiction of the heart space, and it's this beautiful just several hearts, just it's like a frequency, a vibration that's giving off. And so that's just a kind reminder to myself and to you as well, that when you're in a space where you're just like, ugh, like, because right now I'm working and processing some deep things, and it's like, okay, Naja, okay, Rasheedah, okay, Silvertree, get up and do something for the service of others. And so right now I feel that this is the right thing to do. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into another episode. Let's just clear the space with our white sage here. And also, if you guys know of any natural herbs, if Midwestern, I'm speaking specifically to my Midwesterners out there, any natural herbs that are good for cleansing, because I like to tune into the land that I'm on, right? Just to give respect to the land that I live on. It's always nice to, and I'm actually much more magically efficient as well to use the herbs at where you live. When you tune into the energies of where you live, it's that much easier for those energies to work with you. So because a lot of the time we order white sage and Palo Santo and these spaces and places that's very far away. We don't have any connection to the land where we're reaping all the benefits of these herbs. It's always fine to try to, find your local version of Palo Santo or your local version of, the sage. There's hundreds and different types of sages that we can use. So if any of you guys know of any others that predominantly grows in the Midwest, please let me know. So let's get started here. Okay, so before I open this wonderful jar of energies, I'm being pushed to speak about numerology, the number 7. Excuse me. The number 7, we are in 2023. 2 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. 7 is a very spiritual, high frequency number. It is significant for awakenings, for revelation of truth. And the negative or opposite of that would be, lies or deception or being asleep from the truth. Because I believe in that there is a dichotomy and unfortunately, at the end of the day, there's just oneness, there's just unification. But because we are where we're at as the human collective, we look at things in a very split situation. You know, you have good versus evil, light versus dark, male versus female, divine feminine versus divine masculine. We have all of these splits. And a lot of the time, and 7 isn't an even number. That's the thing. It's not an even number. You can break it down, right? And those numbers that add up to 7 can be even, but 7 is irregular. It's almost like if we try to split the number 7, it's no longer spiritual or sacred. And the only way that 7 can be sacred is if it's together. If everything adds to 7 and 7 can perform in that frequency, if you will. It's almost like oneness, right? One, you know, it to me is it's completion. It's the circle. It's the womb of infinity, the womb of all creation, openness, portal, right? And it's weird if we try to divide oneness into 2 halves, right? You have 0.5 or you have a half. That's odd, right? So I find that very interesting with the number 7. Okay, so I'm hearing also to focus on prayers, being full of prayers, and the etymology behind the word pray, right? We have P-R-E-Y, so pray meaning that which is being hunted, and then P-R-A-Y, which when we are in the space of invocation or divination, we are externalizing to the universe, or we are internalizing to the inner verse within ourselves. And so what's the difference between prey being hunted and praying being kind of the predator, if you will? And again, it's weird. There are moments in life where we're at our weakest, where we feel that everything is coming after us, that we're being sought after like the white rabbit, like we're being hunted by a wolf or a fox, you know, like we're being hunted down. And we're running, and we're losing our minds, we're losing ourselves, running around trying to avoid the inevitable. Okay? And then we are the predator, all right? Or predator, where we're hunting, we're the hunter, okay? Or the huntress. We're the huntress, and we're seeking truth. We're seeking it, and we're hunting down that white rabbit, because if you follow that white rabbit down that hole, right? The rabbit hole, you're going to discover something. It's not all just about, you know, devouring an innocent, vulnerable thing. Sometimes what looks meek and weak and innocent is incredibly powerful. And that is the balance of nature, right? There are moments where we are external circumstances can weaken us, and all that we can do is either succumb to being eaten by the circumstance and being devoured by it, or we run away from it, which makes the hunt itself even more dire. Because the hunter is seeking something. It's focused. It's constant. There's concentration. There's full intention. And the prey knows this. So just be conscious of that. Because I was, you know, I try to avoid the word prayer for a long time, because you have prey and then you have the prayer, the one that hunts the prey. And, you know, like sometimes we can be blinded by an illusion, okay? We can be blinded by an illusion, and we're chasing after that prey, which to us is like, that's gold. So we're chasing after something, and really all it is just an illusion. But it's an illusion of substance. It's something that we're chasing outside of ourselves, that we've forgotten that we already have it within us. So there's no need to chase the prey. There's no need to chase something you already have. But a lot of the time the prey is very smart, right? It may not have the strength, but the prey, the white rabbit, is very, very strategic, very cunning, and very witty, and there's wisdom. The prey can set up traps to avoid being eaten by you. right? You remember that rabbit hole? So it can create an illusion of itself, and you fall right into that. You fall right into that trap. Because you're so focused on the end goal, so focused on that goal, that wisdom, that truth, that jewel that rabbit's carrying, right? There's an object in the Alice in Wonderland where almost every character has something, either material or something on their person or personality that stands out, right? You have the Mad Hatter, and that's his hat. He's mad because of the hat he's wearing. You have the rabbit with the watch. He's very focused on getting to places on time. He's running late all the time. And then there's another character. The Cheshire Cat, right? Cheshire Cat is known for its weird grin, its smile with all those teeth. Okay? And so a lot of the time, when we're focused on the prey, that prey has something in their pocket. They have something like a last ditch effort to try to avoid being trapped or hunted by you. So, we kind of went down a rabbit hole there, but again, I was led there, and so take what you will from that, because I kind of want to focus on the illusions of substance, meaning how do we get trapped? And tricked and fall prey to our own, and get outwitted by what we're chasing after, right? And usually when that happens, there's a much deeper wisdom that we need to learn, that source, that Allah, that the higher power, that our higher self, our soul needs us to learn, so that we no longer seek externally. We no longer are hunting after that prey. Let's see what the energies have to say about this, okay? Okay. Here we are. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, there are 9 energies in the circle, the womb of all creation. Let's see. We have one facing down. One energy is facing down. What we're facing right now is facing up. 1, 2, 3. 3 energies are facing right up, that we're facing as a human collective right now. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on their side. So some energies, some of us are privy to. We are aware of it, and others are unaware of what's happening. Okay, so unknown to some, known to others. Okay. So let's take a look at what we're facing right now. So we are in the energy. One of the medicines that I use in my practice is the wolf, the white wolf. This is the symbol for the white wolf. Okay, as you can see that right there. So that is, again, very confirming. The white wolf is the master of the element of air, of the mind, of psychic power. Of illusions, okay, of dispelling illusions, dispelling witchcraft, dispelling things that are very distracting. If anything, this is the time in spring, okay, to begin strong, strengthening your meditative practices, your silent fasts, if you will, your time to study your inner voice, observe the ultimate observer, which is you, okay? A lot, when we have seasonal shifts from winter to spring, spring to summer, summer to fall, fall to winter, winter to spring, spring and summer, it's, we have a lot more light, we have warmer weather, we have beautiful, singing songbirds, we have, wonderful juicy fruits, we it's a wonderful, very sensual, feminine time of the year, usually. But we mustn't forget, because we have this drive to go outward, we want to externalize. Okay, we want to go out, we want to dance, we want to go to parties, we want to socialize, we want to connect, we want to start something, go on vacations, travel. There's nothing wrong with all this. But for those, for me personally, when I'm studying my seasons and my cycles, April, May, and June are usually the months where I have to slow down. I have to increase my meditation. April, May, and June aren't usually the time for me to make or to travel. Like June specifically is like a no-go for me. June is not the month of traveling at all. April is the time for if I'm needing to travel. April is usually the best time. May is more of a positive, like it's more of a positive energy, but April and June for me, it tends to be very iffy months, okay? Where I need to take my time and I need to internalize, okay? So there, again, this is why I stress, always study your personal cycles. Keep a cycle, a calendar journal. Mark down very important events. That way, you keep a journal for April, May, and June, and you only keep a journal for those 3 months. So each year you can go back and study and make very valid predictions on what could possibly unfold in your near future. You can actually do this, okay? It takes a lot of dedication and practice and note-taking, but you can do this, and to the point where you don't need to pay $300 for an astrologist, okay? All right, so again, we have the wolf rune year, and the white wolf is very present, okay? The white wolf is the guide, it's intuition, it's leading you, it's taking that light into dark spaces, okay? Taking you to higher places, all right? We're focusing more with the air element, we're focusing more on the higher planes of consciousness, meaning your third eye, your throat chakra, your third eye, your crown. And usually actually it's just the third eye and the crown, okay? Because that means that you're not producing sound with the throat chakra, but you're going inside and you're exploring different levels of consciousness. So that's kind of where we're at. As far as the collective, okay? It's a good time to study your mind, your mental state. Study your mental state. So when you make decisions to externalize, starting a project, starting a new career, traveling, vacationing, ending certain things, you do so with a clear mind, okay? All right, and then we have an arrow pointing that's facing upright. Arrow, again, in the season of air, in the season of the wind, an arrow, right? In order for an arrow to work, it needs the element of air, okay? It needs your focus, it needs your hands. And so it's pointing. That means focus, concentration. It means destination. So many of us will be traveling. We're still very much in the post pandemic season, if you will, and cycle, which I predicted that it would take us 2 to 5 years for the whole globe to solidify and to integrate the pandemic experience. And that's how far I'm going to go with that. I'm not here to give my own perspectives on the controversies and different theories that are out there. I just like to focus on the seasons and cycles, okay? So 2 to 5 years, so from 2020 to 2025, okay? Because there's still a lot of fear and a lot of hands that are dilly-dallying, if you will. But that arrow is meaning that our mental the consciousness, the awareness that we have with our minds as a collective, it's going in a certain direction. We're taking ourselves to a destination, whether we're aware of it or we're just players in the game, or we're the game makers. We're heading towards a direction. We're heading towards a destination. Okay. All right. And the third energy here, let's see. Again, I see the portal. Okay. I see a portal where light and dark is entering. So it's very balanced energy here. All right. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's definitely very, very balanced. It's also a dance, if you will. I see two people holding hands, spinning around. Okay, around and round and round in circles, right? I see joy. I see a lot of movement. Okay, because we're still coming out of our what do they call that? Quarantine. Okay, and then you see the strong 4 energy right there. Okay. And you know what? And it's not just a social quarantine. It's a quarantine of our individually as well. A lot of us have been quarantining ourselves all of our lives. We've been avoiding, shooting that arrow. We've been hesitant. And so now as a collective, we're being asked to shoot the arrow. Like, know your mark, study your mark. What's your mental state? Where do you want to go? Take your arrow and point in the direction and let go. Okay? So I see this as an indication of community, that there's definitely some movement going around. Ring around the rosy. That's what I'm getting. Like there's momentum going on here. Okay? Because I see the full moon and new moon. So it's very like I feel like as a collective, we've already made a decision and we're moving towards that. Okay, I don't know if it's good, bad, dark. I don't know. I'm getting, that's the energy. It's like there's momentum. There's something circular. Like I'm getting that energy when I'm singing. Like, and it's very fast paced, very fast. I'm also seeing the arrow just. It's locked in. Okay, let's take a look at the energies that are on their side, that are upright. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 again is foundational. It's square. The square is representative of the mind. Again, I'm getting very strong mind. So let's look at the first one here. Okay, water droplets. I don't know why, and maybe it's a moment ago I was talking to my beloved about staying hydrated, and I, you know what? This is actually very good. Water droplets. Water. It's almost like we can't do without it. With all this mental movement, like with the arrow, and the wolf is like, the white wolf is saying, make sure you don't dehydrate yourself. Make sure you don't dehydrate your dreams. Make sure your thoughts don't dehydrate, don't dry out your ideas. Okay, with spring, it's very sensual. It's very sexual. It's very feminine because you have a lot of rain, thunderstorms, floods, right? A lot of water. But then the summer months, okay, that will take place in a couple months here soon, can be very drying. Forest fires, all that. So make sure in your mind that your mind is right. Your thought forms are being cleared out. I can't stress that enough. Thought forms are real. Thought forms are real things. Thoughts are things. We cannot physically see them. They're limited to a normal human being's eye, but they're real. You can literally walk into a room and manipulate the whole room just by manipulating thought forms and putting impressions on people. Yes, hypnosis is one technique, but there's many different techniques out there for sure. So be mindful of the thought forms in your energy field, but stay hydrated, okay? Physically too. I just realized I haven't drank any water today. That's horrible. Okay, so make sure that you are quenching your thirst. If you have an idea, quench it, water it. Next, we have, again, magnetized. Okay. See that? Some of us are magnetized. Where you see that magnet there, it's pulling, pushing. There's some resistance. That's what I'm getting. There's some of us have mental blocks. Happens to me. happens to you, happens to all of us. As a collective, there's definitely some resistance, for sure. And I'm also getting a visual of like a glass cup, like an ant is caught where a glass cup has been overturned, and the ant is trying to get out, and he can see everything around him, but he just can't touch it. You know what I'm saying? It's really weird. Oh, okay. This is where I'm being led. So some of us in the human collective, some of us, we can see our own potential. We can see what's happening, but we can't do anything. We're not ripe enough yet. You know, like we're just not there, but we sense something is off. And it's a really effed up place to be, because you don't want to be in a glass jar and you're stuck in the glass jar. But you can see everything, life happening around you, but you can't participate in it. I'm also getting that some of that's a way to stay protected. Like it's almost it's almost like the role of an ultimate observer. Like you're not supposed to be of the world, or of the world. I don't know. I can't say the saying correctly, but it's almost like a form of self-protection, of self-preservation. Like you think, oh, well, if I'm sitting behind this glass wall, or in this glass jar, or in this glass bowl, I can still see outside, and I can get like secondhand involvement in it without getting hurt. I'm getting like a kid watching from his bedroom window and watching all the kids play. You see, that playful energy is coming up again. It means to create, really. And so we have to be very careful of that, because some of us, it's good for us to just observe what's happening. Don't participate in the madness, because sometimes play can become dangerous. But then for others of us, we need to be sure that we're not doing it just for self-preservation and out of fear. Oh, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to get hurt. I'd rather just watch everyone play. I'd rather just watch everyone create the lives they want to live, and I can watch. Ooh, okay. Now I know what this means. It's almost like this is symbolic. This glass jar I'm getting now is symbolic. This glass like barrier is technology. It's the screen. Like you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm accomplishing A, B, and C, and D, but not really. You're just watching something that's already been created. And you have to ask yourself, how am I creating? What am I creating? Right? It's very interesting. All right. And the third one here, we have the square, which is the mind. And the mind is air. Okay. The mind is meditation. The mind can also be a mental block. It can be a form of protection, psychic protection. We're entering into, I believe, the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. It's always, you know what? A lot of people, now that Mercury retrograde is becoming a lot more mainstream, and a lot more people understand what it is, and like how, communication, because Mercury is symbolic for communication, right? It's the god of communication. Okay. And so, a lot of the time people are like, oh my gosh, Mercury retrograde. Oh, nothing's working right. Or no one's answering my call, or, they're calling me too much, or there's a breakdown in communication. And sometimes I take it, when there's Mercury retrograde, take it as a form of slowing your butt down, right? Like thinking before you speak. Okay? Instead of just, we got to be careful with this arrow too, because arrows can mortally wound people. Arrows can, that's the arrow in the heart, right? The arrow in the heart. it's you got to be very careful with people who tend to be very talkative or very mentally sharp a lot of the time, and they process things very quickly. Be very mindful of your thoughts before they turn into words, because sometimes those thoughts come from strong feelings, and we don't really you know we don't really think before we speak. And so during Mercury retrograde, you can kind of just, there's a slip of the tongue and something can get a bit too far. So those of us that are studying our personal cycles in time, if April is a down month for you, which I'll explain in the future what that means. If April is a down month for you, chillax, relax, review, meditate. And then I'm also getting psychic protection. At this point, when it comes to technology and the 5G and all this other stuff, and everyone's glued to their phones, everyone's glued to their website or their laptops, their Wi-Fi, we are psychically being compromised to the point where we're so reliant on this external object that we don't understand that we are the highest form of AI. Okay? Take that how you want it. And last but not least, okay, we have, I don't know what this is. I'm hearing nails in a coffin. Whew, okay. I'm hearing nails in a coffin. So, and I'm tying, this is being pulled back to at the very beginning of reading these energies, how, with the wolf is pushing us. We are pushing ourselves into a focused direction, which, I'm not saying you can never remove a nail, okay, from a piece of wood or a wall. I'm saying, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing nails being driven into a very strong foundation, and that's meant to not be removed. So when it comes to making decisions as a collective, we're kind of putting nails in the coffin in certain frequencies and vibrations that we're choosing as a collective. And that's not, I'm not getting a good energy from that. Because if anything, right, they put nails in the coffin to keep, back in the day, now they use cement, but to put nails in the coffin, so the body wouldn't pop out of the coffin, or gypsies, or not, I don't like to use that word, gypsies, the people wouldn't commit thievery and take the jewelry and things from the dead, make it harder for them to just break in and take it. So I'm just saying, just imagine, I'm getting coffin very strongly. It's like, whatever you're choosing to move forward in the direction, don't look back. This is something it won't be easily dug up. Okay, it's not meant to be dug up. Don't defile. Don't defile the resting place. So if something is supposed to end, leave it be and move forward. Follow this arrow. Okay? That's what the wolf is really saying. Do not, for the love of you, don't try to dig up something that should not be dug up. Okay? All right. And last but not least, oh, did I get everything? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's one. Oh, this is good. This was on its right side up. I'm so sorry, guys. Right here. We have Source, we have God, we have Allah, we have all that is. We have heaven. This is very good energy. The star, the guiding light. Ooh, that arrow's pointing towards the guiding light. The guiding. The star is guiding us. Star to me is is hope. Okay? It's a higher purpose. Yes. So even if something very negative is happening to us as a collective, guys, it's all part of it. All part of the transformation. part of the expanding of our consciousness, part of the evolution of our human being. And last but not least, this is the one over here that is face down, meaning this is the energy that's ruling. It's ruling the unseen, okay? The unseen rules the seen, right? It's an energy that we probably aren't aware of, but our subconscious is aware of it. So here we go. Let's take a look. The serpent's eye. Oh. That's been a while, and that's some fire energy, okay? That the serpent's eye is fire energy, and that's, I have to say it, the word that's coming up is hypnosis. It's like trickery, distraction. Not great. It's not great energy. And that's kind of what the underlaying of this is. And this, I'm tying this back into the number 7. Like distractions. That's the shadow energy of the number 7 is like distraction. It's secret. It's, the opposite of spiritual awakening. So it could be that something is like mass psychosis or mass like mind control. Yeah, be observant in your meditations, your individual meditations, and what comes up for you. So that's the energy there, okay? So again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 energy. 9 is like a completion, if you will. Like it's the end of something. So again, the nail in the coffin, don't dig up what is buried, okay? For some of you, like just keep moving. It's almost like Sodom and Gomorrah, that biblical story, where I'm not quite sure. Maybe not. Don't mark my words, but there's a biblical story where they're leaving a horrible place. I don't know if it's the city of Babylon. I don't know, but it's like, it's very demonic. It's very dark, and God instructs them to not look back. Like, he was like, whatever you do not look back. They're hearing screams. They're hearing names. Their names being called. All this like distraction to get them to look back just one last time, because they're leaving the unhealthy pleasures, and they're leaving, gold and fortune all behind. And one, which happened to be a woman, but one of them out of the group that they were heading towards the mountains, she looked back, and her husband called her name, and she did not respond. And what happened was she turned into a pillar of salt. And he couldn't say I love you. He couldn't go hug her. Couldn't save her. He had to keep going. So again, don't dig up what is buried, for the love of you and for the love of those who are around you, okay? Because you can get kind of like hypnotized and tricked back into a certain frequency that can really warp you and thwart and just kind of mislead you. Okay? So focus on what, and this is very synchronistic, because some things that are hidden, which is this, the serpent's eye, shouldn't be looked at. Just some things you shouldn't have to look at again. There's some things you don't need to revisit. Now, if something is unresolved and is wreaking havoc in your relationships with people, is wreaking havoc in your dream world, is wreaking havoc in your energy field, is wreaking havoc in your emotional and mental state, by all means, go to therapy and counseling and get some help, okay? There's nothing wrong with it, all right? Because also the element of air is your mental state. It is representative of mental health. And, the mental health of the human consciousness, woo. there are pockets of places where the mental health is very stable and loving and balanced. You want to be mentally stable, balanced. You cannot be too high, and it's not safe to be too low. Because when you're on both mental extremes of experiencing such a spiritual high, you lose touch with reality. You lose touch with where you're at right now. When you're too low, you also lose touch with reality, and you lose touch with what's here right now. So be very mindful and heartful. I don't want to just be all about the mind here, but because the heart has a very powerful intelligence that we tend to bypass. But if your mind isn't right, yeesh, it makes it very hard to understand. Okay? An open heart. If your mind is blocked, it makes it harder for us to understand an open heart. And some beings have a very open heart, and they're very misunderstood. And some beings have a very serious mental blocks, mind blocks, and they're blocked in the mind, that it's very, very dangerous and causes much suffering in life. So that is a reading. I didn't mean for this to be 40 minutes long. If you made it through this, very good job. I haven't done this in a while, and so I feel very grateful for it. I just want to close out with some Palo Santo that came somewhere from South America somewhere. And that's, it's very important to stay connected with the plants and the herbs that you use, and the trees and stuff that you use in your practice. So just putting that out there for myself. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to Rasheedah Silvertree. I'm Rasheedah Silvertree. And please check out my music channel, some of my old works, and to help you meditate or sleep. And let me know in the comments below how you feel. Thank you so much. Bye.